This year sees the release of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, the much anticipated follow-up to Oblivion that gives you the freedom to do whatever you like, whenever you like, whether that's churning through dragon-slaying quests or simply exploring the vast and varied open world.
The basic premise of the story, it's set in the province of Skyrim, which is the northernmost province of Tamriel, where the Nords are from, and you play the Dragonborn, the one who is prophesied to come back and hopefully save the world from the return of dragons. Dragons have been talked about all throughout the Elder Scrolls games, but they've never actually been in any of them. So this is the first time you get to see and fight dragons, and the main quest has to do with that conflict amongst other things.
Ah yes, dragons, the pièce de résistance of Skyrim. But what part do they play in the game?
Dragons are very cool. They're meant to be like epic boss battles. You know, the idea is that they will require a lot of effort and resources on your part to try and defeat. And the big benefit for defeating a dragon is that you get to absorb its soul. And by absorbing its soul, you can then unlock any new shouts that you've learned. So shouts are words of power. The dragon language. When you see dragons like breathing fire, you'll actually hear them like shouting these words. So you get to learn these words and perform these special attacks and powers, which then come in very handy when you're fighting a dragon.
Surely dragons aren't all bad, though.
Let me just say, in general, dragons are evil. Their return is a very bad thing. Might there be exceptions and nuances to that? Possibly. I wouldn't want to say anything beyond that, but you know, this is not a game where like, no, like dragons are our friends and we just have to learn to get. This is not How to Train Your Dragon. This is how to kill a whole bunch of very mean things that have come to kill and hurt people.
Okay, got it. Kill dragons. Sounds like no easy task. Are there groups of factions in the game to team up with?
Well, the three main factions are the Companions, which is the warrior faction, the College of Winterhold, which is the Mages Guild, and the Thieves Guild. And then there is a fourth faction that we just started talking about, or at least let everybody know is back again, and that's the infamous and well-loved Dark Brotherhood, which are the guys who are the assassins, the shadowy Assassins Guild. That was very popular in Oblivion, so that will be making a return as well.
The game takes its name from the region in which it is set, Skyrim, the northernmost province of Tamriel and the home of the Nords. But does this mean that playing as other races will put you at a disadvantage? Pete is quick to assuage those fears.
We don't want the race you play to suddenly entirely change your experience where stuff is or isn't available to you, so it's more as a flavor thing, as opposed to, I'm a wood elf, therefore how could I be the Dragonborn? Well, the Dragonborn the prophecy didn't have anything to do with like specifically where this was going to take place. So we want you to be able to pick who you want and have the game still play the same, but maybe just have some little bits of flavor here and there.
A much touted feature of Skyrim is Radiant's story, which promises to dynamically change parts of the game to better match your skills and to ensure that each player has a unique experience. Confused? Here's an example.
You could be walking down a road to a dungeon, and along the way you pass a couple of bandits who jump out of the bushes and try and kill you. And let's say you died and the bandits killed you, and you reloaded your save game and you walk down that same road. It might not be bandits this time. It might be a novice conjurer who's out in the woods practicing stuff. It might be a guy hunting a deer. So it's subtle. We don't actually ever want you to know or notice when you're experiencing something that's got Radiant story, but you know, when you're around the water cooler the next day and everybody's talking about what they did, even if you did the same quest, you'd be like, hey, wait a minute, I went to a different dungeon. Which one did you go to? Mine had waterfalls. So that's the basic idea.
Another change in Skyrim has been made to the skills system, which promises to make leveling up and gaining new skills easier. Pete explains.
We've removed the whole idea of major and minor skills now that was in Oblivion. So every skill helps you level up. So if you just decide 3 hours in, all I want to do for the rest of the game now is magic. Like, okay, you're not very good at it right now, but if you just use magic, you'll keep leveling up, your character will still be good at it, and you can do all those things. And if you want to go back to what you were doing before, you can go back to it. Like there are much fewer limits now in terms of the impact on the game.
So that's dragons, Radiant story, and a new skills system. You think Bethesda would run out of ideas after that? But no, there's more.
You can cook now. Cooking is a new thing.
Ah, virtual cooking, brilliant. I assume there's a little more to it than just butchering your favorite animal to make delicious, delicious steak, though.
So now we have these special cook fires that you'll find spread around the world. So you can find venison if you kill a deer, you can find venison meat, which you could just eat and get some benefits from. But if you take that and combine it with some other things, then suddenly you have venison stew, and instead of just giving you like maybe a little bit of health or stamina, it'll restore like 1 point of health and 1 point of stamina every second for 720 seconds. So you get much bigger benefits, you know, by doing it. So it's kind of like potions, but different. It's food.
So what if you're one of those guys that's put over 100 hours into Oblivion? What else do you have to look forward to?
There's so many moments that you'll find yourself walking along and you'll just stop and like take it in, like, you know, a borealis over a mountain that you happen to be climbing, or you're walking as the sun goes down and, you know, 2 mammoths go walking by, and you'll just stop and like just take 30 seconds like watching this scene play out on your, like, it feels like you're there. And so that, I think more than anything, that's cool to Elder Scrolls fans, is like we finally have like more adventures, more stuff we get to go do in this world. It's such a great game. There's so much content. You know, Todd Howard said to me when we were at QuakeCon like 2 weeks ago, he's like, I don't think anybody on our team knows more than 70% of the game, because it's just too big to know everything. So it's great to get people in a room, whether it's this week or when we had folks at QuakeCon, and just get to see a whole bunch of people playing it, and just how different their experiences are, how much they all enjoy it, but enjoy it in completely different ways. And ultimately, that's what the game is about. That, you know, to our fans, we're not trying to design the game for any one gamer. We want everybody to be able to play it and have fun, no matter how they play, what kind of character they love, what kind of things they love doing. We hope and believe that everybody will have a great time playing it when they finally get to. So this is Pete Hines from Bethesda for Skyrim, coming out for PC, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3 on November 11th.